There we go. Good afternoon, everybody, and welcome to our live watch-along for Alfreton Town against Warrington Town in the National League North. Back at the Impact at last. Alfreton coming into this game on an unfavourable run of form, just 2 wins in the last 12 league matches. Those two coming away at Farsley Celtic and Scarborough. Similarly, Warrington with only the 1 league win in their last 12, and that came before Christmas against Buxton. So Alfreton sitting on 43 points, 16th in the league table. Warrington on 26 points in the drop zone, down in 22nd. This fixture earlier this season ended in a slim 1-0 Alfreton victory, thanks to a Liam Waldock goal, which was probably an own goal, but we kind of orchestrated it to be a Liam Waldock goal on social media and got him in the team of the week. So yeah, I mean, the story as of late, Alfreton have kind of gone from a team that have been in and around the playoffs for the last 2 seasons to now sort of dropping down to the kind of lower reaches of the league. And it's kind of gotten to the point where games like this are now vastly more important for the remainder of the season against a team that are going to be battling relegation. And Alfreton, you know, that is now probably a possibility going into the final sort of 13 matches of this season. They do sit 11 points above the relegation zone, so it's not an immediate fear, but football is a crazy game and anything can happen. So, Matty, what are your thoughts on the game today?
Yeah, it could be a big one. It really could in the grand scheme of things. You know, a bad run or a good run can change your season. And it's been a really hard spell, a really tough spell. Billy's tried different things. He's brought in new players and nothing really seems to click. And, you know, I don't think we're in any kind of danger where we've got to worry about anything just yet. But this is one of them games where if we don't pick up the 3 points today, we could be getting into that territory where teams lower than us could catch us, and come the end of the season, you know, in May, we'll be a little bit on edge about where we could be. And, you know, I think we've had a really strong start to the season. We were, you know, up and about in the playoffs for a long time, and now we've dropped off quite drastically, and now we're in this kind of idea of could we get dragged into a relegation battle if the form doesn't turn. I mean, if you're not picking up points, you are, other teams will. And we're at that point now where we're just looking over our shoulder. We're looking back and we're saying we could be in there if something doesn't change. But this is a chance to kind of get that I mean, we're still searching for the first win at home this year in 2025. We're still searching for that first home win. And this is, you know, they're not going to get a bigger chance than today to do it. They're playing a side bottom of the league who haven't won this year full stop in the league. So it's one of them where today, yeah, I think it's gonna give us a lot of information on what we can come to expect towards the back end of the season. We need to pick up 3 points today. Anything less, and I'm going to start getting a little bit worried about this team and where they could end up come the end of the season.
Yeah, I think that's a pretty fair assessment. I think the phrase that you used, sort of Alfreton having to end up checking their shoulder more than sort of being immediately worried about the kind of fear of the drop, but it is certainly sort of coming to be that sort of scenario now. But we've had a tough run of games, and as you say, this game, if you look at it in the wider prospect of things, sets up a good little run. We have an away trip to Brackley next weekend, but then following that 3 fixtures at home in the league, which could prove to be crucial. So 3 points today could go a long way in terms of setting up a good little run of form to end the season nicely, or at least in a nicer fashion than what we've gotten used to as of late, because that's all you really need in a season where if the objective ends up becoming just sort of steady the ship, stay safe in the league, a couple of good little runs here and there for 3 or 4 games is most likely going to get you over the line. And yeah, I think it's also worth mentioning that challenging for the playoffs and sort of flirting with the top 7 has just kind of been something that we've gotten used to over the past 2 seasons. And the reality is, both of those years, including the massive FA Cup runs into that as well, a lot of fixtures, it's probably been a case of Alfreton punching above their weight for a while now.
Yeah.
So a drop off was, not inevitable, but not to be unexpected, if that makes sense. So it's not a cause to be immediately worried about things to come. And the man that we've got in charge has been able to pull off some some fantastic things, given the fans great memories, but like you say today, against a team in the bottom four, you're probably looking at this one thinking, this has got, this is a really good opportunity to get a victory, get the morale back, get some confidence back in the players, and get 3 points here at the Impact. We have 5 minutes until kickoff. We're seeing the teams line up in the tunnel with some mascots today, and we'll run you through those two sides as they exit the tunnel and take to the field.
Yeah, just quickly get a point in as well. I don't think it's all doom and gloom. I think a fantastic run up to the end of the season. I think that 2 years ago, that first playoff finish where Kidderminster knocked us out, they went on, a magical run at the end of the season from about the same position we're in now, got themselves in the playoffs and got themselves promoted. So it's not unheard of to kind of put together, Billy could find the formula that works and take us through to the end of the season, and it could all be, fine and dandy. But I think if we're looking more realistically, we're checking our shoulder. But I'm not saying this is a write-off at all this season. Momentum is a very, very big thing in football, and if the wins start coming, the points start coming, we'll very, very quickly climb that ladder into the playoff positions again. Yeah,
and that would be a sort of a case that would be lovely for us to oversee. Just getting a result today, follow that up away at Brackley, and then those sort of 3 home games, like you say, you never know. It could snowball, and that could become 12 points. But you just don't know. But yeah, I think it's a bigger fixture today than we've seen as of late, because there's been tough away trips, obviously away at Hereford, where the performances haven't been kind of reflective of the results. We've been in the games, South Shields especially. Whenever there's a 1 goal in the game, you're always in the game. And it's a bit of a cliche that anything can happen, but the goal sort of came at a point where there wasn't too much time left to get back into the game, but a dominant second half could have spelled something different. But Alfreton Town now take to the field alongside Warrington in their away strip, sort of looking a bit Scunthorpe-ish.
Yeah,
I'd say, with the kind of the claret and the light blue. Alfreton in their usual red, as I'm sure you won't be surprised to learn. We'll run you through the Ofton side immediately. In between the sticks, number 13, Jake Askew, still filling in for the injured George Willis. Looks to be a back 4. The full backs, number 2, Josh Claxton, and you'd imagine number 29, David Solademi, who we've seen on the left-hand side of the defence, and the 2 centre-backs, number 5, Adam Anson, and the captain, number 6, Dwayne Wiley. Midfield looks like it's going to be a 3 based with number 4, Adam Lund, and then either side of him, number 8, George Cantrill, and number 14, Jed Abbey. On the wings, number 11, Lewis Salmon, and number 25, Sam Osborne, and believed to be playing through the middle, number 32, new signing, Akil Francis. And then the 5-man bench, number 3, Max Hunt, number 9, Jake Day, number 10, Liam Waldock, number 23, Nathan Newell, and number 34, Matthew Carson. And that looks like a strong bench.
Yeah, definitely. And for our visitors this afternoon, they have number 1, Dan Atherton in goal, number 3, Andy White, 4, Hamish Douglas, 7, Lee Williams, 10, Matty McDonald, 11, Joe Rodwell Grant, 12, Mo Doro, 15, Joe Ackroyd, 18, Aaron James, 22, Dana Amaral, 26, Peter Clark, and on the bench is 8, Mikey O'Neill, 9, Josh Amiss, 14, Murphy Bennett, 16, Matt Mackinson, and 25, Devan Green. Yeah,
and just a couple of names that have popped up in that visiting lineup will be possibly memorable to Alfreton fans, some for the wrong reasons. Obviously, Daniel Atherton got that miraculous last-minute goal against the Reds in the away fixture last season.
He's not even a big goalkeeper, is he? I'm looking at him now. All the defenders are taller than him.
But yeah, the former Liverpool man on that day getting what was his second of the season, which is a bizarre sentence to say, considering he's a goalkeeper.
Yeah, he's very well loved in Warrington, though.
Yeah.
It's very, as much as I was very bitter about the header he scored to salvage a point on that day last season, you go to Warrington and you get there, you go on the bus and we get there early and you get set up in the media lounge and you see him in particular. He's taking photos with all the kids of Warrington and, talking to them, and he seems like very accessible to the fans. So I know he's a bit of a cult hero to them up there. And he's been there for a few years now. So as much as we weren't a big fan of the header he scored against us, he's quite the character for Warrington. And I'm sure he won't be very happy with the season they've had so far. And he'll be one of the main characters that's still pushing them on, trying to salvage the season for them.
Yeah, local lad as well. So that kind of makes sense as to why he's a bit of a fan favourite. Obviously, former Liverpool academy player. And the two teams setting up. Alfreton shooting up towards that tin end in the first half. Scunthorpe will have the kick-off. No changeovers. Jake Askew's asked the line to hold on a second because the sticks that were left up from the goalkeeper warm-up were still in the line by the goal, but they have been removed. Referee checking with the goalkeepers now. Kick-off is imminent. And there is the whistle. Matty McDonald gets us underway for Warrington. Straight back to Dan Atherton. Looks to send a clearance up to the right-hand side. Header won by Osborne and then challenged by Amaral. It's going to run back through for Anson. Knocks back for Askew and a left-footed clearance from his box up to the halfway line. Francis looks to challenge and that one bounces out off the head of a Warrington player, out for an Alfreton throw.
Yeah, really good challenge there from Akil Francis. Ran right across the pitch, sized it up, jumped, made it hard for the defender, and he's got a throw in for his troubles. It's the first time I've really seen him play come on against Hereford, but he didn't really get that long, and Hereford were very dominant, cruising in that game, so I'm excited to see what he can do.
Well, we are going to see Solademi take this throw. Down the left-hand side, across the flank it goes, both sides contesting for that throw-in. Alfreton getting the benefit of the doubt on that one, as Adam Lund looks to warm up what will surely be the first of many cannon throws into the area.
Yeah, he didn't start last weekend, Adam Lund, and it's one of them where I just couldn't understand it because he's such a weapon from these kind of positions, that long throw. It's really hard to deal with.
Well, we see the usual suspects load the box. Wiley, Anson, Solademi all in there. In comes the throw from Adam Lund on the left-hand side. Header is won by Francis, but bounces down into the box. Warrington want handball, and eventually the ball is turned over the crossbar. Looked like Lewis Salmon in the end, just trying to make something of that one, and it's gone behind the stand. Atherton's going to have to wait for somebody to come along. No, he's
got himself
contorted his body over the advertisement balls to pick that one up, but first time the ball's been into the opposing box for the Reds. Adam Lund's throw looking to cause problems as always.
Yeah, it's one of them where it's bounced in the box, and if anyone was going to poke it in, it'd be Lewis Salmon. He's been in great form recently, scoring on Tuesday evening as well away to South Shields, where neither of us made the trip, but I've been told that the media team didn't make us feel all that welcome for our visit.
A few shouts for a free kick from a Warrington perspective as Adam Lund dived in to win the ball there. Referee not interested. Alfreton looked to come forward inside the Warrington half. Adam Lund heads it into the feet of Osborne, brings it down, carries it over to the left-hand side, checks back inside and tries to clip a ball into Jed Abbey, who will get there inside the area. Peter Clark puts in a foot, but Abbey still has it. Left-footed cross towards the back post, and it wasn't too far behind Lewis Salmon. Josh Claxton does pick up the pieces, and he does well to win the throw off of the full-back on that right-hand side.
He's done really well there, Clacky, because he's not the quickest, and that lad was really giving him the chase out to that byline. It was one of them where he wasn't going to get time to kind of turn and face him, so he did what he could, managed to get the nick off him and win the throw-in.
Yeah, Osborne with a good little bit of control initially to sort of pick out that pass into the little gap between the centre-half and the full-back, causing some problems. Adam Lund will take that throw from the right-hand side in towards the near post, looking for Francis. It's going to come out to Abbey on the edge, lays it back out to Adam Lund on the right wing. Right-footed cross is immediately blocked, but Abbey looking to recover. Goes back to Lund once more. Tries the left-footed cross towards the far post. Wiley heads it back into danger, headed away by Warrington. Solademi gets it back in there. Salmon brings it down on his thigh, looks to work some space for himself. Warrington do win it back. Tries to knock it around the corner. Adam Lund tries a shot from range, but is closed down. The door slams shut on him, and he falls onto the football. Warrington concede the free kick. I think they were contesting just for the fact that because Adam Lund did the sort of classic footballer fall on the ball and grasp it with both your arms, they wanted the handball, but the referee saw the foul in the first place and does award Alfreton the free kick, so we'll see all the tall defenders make their way forward again. Osborne to take this one, about 35 yards from goal, just to the right of the sort of centre circle. Referee gives the whistle, clipped in towards the centre of the box. Francis tries to get his head to it, does so twice. Salmon does flick it over Peter Clark, but the eventual ball drops into the gloves of Daniel Atherton, who thought about getting a quick breakaway on there. as Rodwell Grant was peeling down the right-hand side, but he tells him to wait as the teams make their way back towards the halfway line, regain their shape. Atherton rolls it out of his own box, sends it long. Wiley gets up there to try and win that one. He's contested by Lee Williams, and eventually Adam Lund forced to knock that one out, tackling Aaron James, but giving Warrington the chance to throw this one in. We'll see if they've got a Lund-esque weapon. And then we are seeing both the centre-halves, Skipper Clark and the number 4, Hamish Douglas, both sent forward into the box. That would indicate they have got something of a long throw.
Yeah, they're really deep in the box as well. There's no front post flick on going on.
Aaron James does take that throw, and it is long in towards that front post, and it is flicked on. It's going to come out to the edge of the box. Warrington look like they might get the shot away, but it's reworked, clipped back in towards the back post, controlled by the throw-in taker Williams, who then drifted into the area, but he couldn't quite keep the ball.
Yeah, flag went up anyway.
At his feet.
You can see it, but the Lionel put his flag up for offside anyway. Yeah,
the ball just trickled out for a goal kick, but nothing to worry about in the end for the Reds. Jake Askew will line this one up on the right-hand side of his 6-yard box, send the teams over to the opposite side.
I've got a touch of PTSD there with the world goal kick. I don't know. I've told you about it. It's all I pretty much said last weekend against Hereford. I was like, oh, it's a goal kick. It's literally all the ball ever was. Well,
Jake Askew takes one of those up towards Akil Francis. Really good control on his thigh to take it out to the right-hand side. He's eventually tackled by Andy White. Claxton looks to get it back in field towards Abbey. Looks to shoot on his left foot, but it's over the crossbar from about 25 yards. He sort of made his way towards the centre of the field, outside the area. Had the space to try the shot, and he thought, why not? But that one just sails over the crossbar into the fans behind the goal.
Yeah, I really don't mind that because he had the space. He had no one contesting him. He could have. The only thing there, as I say, he could have. You know, it looked like he didn't really take a touch to set himself. He kind of took that touch into the space and then took it with the inside of his boot. I would have loved to see him just drill it with his laces after taking like one touch to set himself. He had the space. There was no one closing him down. And I'd like to see him test the keeper there as well.
Well, Atherton does send his goal kick long. It's won by Anson. Bit of ping-pong inside the centre circle. Still going on, ends with McDonald trying to break it towards Williams. Cantrell does intercept though, finds the feet of Salmon. Looks to knock it round the corner of the left back, Andy White, but he gets the better of him, the Warrington man. Laid back to Douglas, who looks to send that one down the line. It's a good ball towards Rodwell Grant. Gets it under control up against Solidemi. Tries the pass inside. Anson puts the challenge in. A few cries for a penalty, but that looked like a completely clean challenge from here. I think the players knew that as well. Rodwell Grant, though, does look to get a second cross in. Solidemi makes the block, and it looked like it might bounce out for a corner, but Askew quick off his line.
That was a
great grasp
challenge.
That one.
Great challenge by Anson. It's one of them ones where if he's a second later, he does give away a penalty, but he got full contact with the ball before the centre forward got there. Which is why the referee hasn't blown.
It's the number 12 Mo Doro that came across from the left-hand side to look to latch onto it, and I think it was one of those challenges that, like you say, if you get wrong whatsoever, there's always the doubt that it might be resultant in a penalty kick, but Anson got that one spot on, and you can kind of tell by the fact that the appeals lasted about a second. Well, Wiley pings that one over to the right-hand side towards Salmon, looking for Francis inside the area. Big shots for handball, and the referee gives it. Akil Francis looks to get the ball under control inside the area, just sort of flicks it up into the kind of midriff of Peter Clark, the Warrington captain, who will complain with the referee, but it strikes his arm. The referee judges it to have been in an unnatural position. Clark is gesturing that he had both of his arms by his side, but the referee's uninterested. Doesn't seem to be the opinion of the Alfreton fans. And if my eyes do not deceive me, I'm currently watching Josh Claxton place the ball on the spot. And I do that will be some sort of jiggery pokery from Alfreton, but I mean, you never know.
I'm surprised I've not
Claxton fancies a goal.
I'm surprised I've not given it to Francis. He did really well to win that penalty. The ball from Salmon's great into that space, but the composure to kind of flick it into the space, and if it's not hit the hand of the player, he's going to score. It's on his left foot.
Yeah.
But Claxton is going to take it.
Yep, I can't quite believe what I'm seeing. Josh Claxton, not the regular goal scorer for Alfreton.
I've seen him dispatch them though in shootouts before.
He has got a good record in the shootouts, but it will be the number 2 Josh Claxton to try and hand Alfreton the lead here. On 10 minutes, the referee blows his whistle. Claxton steps up, right-footed, into the corner, sends Daniel Atherton the wrong way, and Alfreton Town have the lead inside the first half.
He's done it again.
Through a George Claxton penalty. He brings out that celebration that we saw against Needham Market in the FA Trophy earlier this season. And I can't quite believe that he's the one that stepped up. I thought that was going to be the classic sort of player stands over the penalty to sort of distract from the player that will actually take the penalty. He'll receive all the flack and then hand it over at the last minute. But he stepped up immediately and he looked confident, Josh Claxton, and he converts from 12 yards.
Yeah, composure, dispatched calmly. He picked his spot and that's where he put it. The keeper dives the wrong way. Don't know if he maybe gave him the eyes a bit, but he won that mind game, whatever he did, and he sent the keeper the wrong way, put it right where he picked it, low into that bottom right corner or the keeper's left. Great penalty, and it was a great move, positive start as well.
Yeah, the move to win the penalty initially was really positive. Wiley picking out the pass over to Salmon, he found himself in space on the right wing and just knocking the ball into a dangerous area for Francis to chase, and he got there, forces the problem from the Warrington back line, wins the penalty, and then Josh Claxton duly dispatches from the penalty spot.
Great refereeing as well. He was in a great position to see it, and he did not hesitate at all, did he?
No, the whistle was blown straight away.
To give it. It's one of them ones where you know a lot of referees would panic, not know what to do there, because it's one of them ones where if you're not paying attention or you're not in a good position to see it, you're not gonna get it given, because a lot of referees don't have the confidence to kind of go so quickly, and if you hesitate, the longer you hesitate, the harder it is to give.
Well, just in the corner for Alfreton, David Solademi does well to win himself a free kick. He was challenged by Rodwell Grant, won the ball off of him, and then just got his body in the way, used it as a sort of shield, forcing Rodwell Grant to put in some contact, put him on the ground, wins that free kick, and Askew will clear that one upfield. Headed back forward powerfully by Clark. Made Anson think about it, and just for a moment it looked like the number 12 Mo Durrow might be in to equalise for Warrington, but Askew had to be quick off his line to gather that one. And it was a really good header forward by the Warrington captain, Clark, just to put it into a really dangerous area, sort of between the defence and the goalkeeper. Anson looked to head it back, didn't quite get the power on it that I imagine he desired. But Askew spares his blushes.
Yeah, it made me worry for just a moment as that header went back. It looked like it didn't have enough on it. Luckily, Askew was, on stride to come to the edge of his box and jump on top of the ball, which nullified the danger. But there was a brief moment there. I thought, all that work, all that really good start to this game, being on top, getting that penalty, deserved, and then all of a sudden I just thought that one moment was going to be a mistake that threw it away. But luckily, we've got away with one.
Well, Jake Askew, off the back of that, played the ball down the line, won the throw-in. Adam Lund will take it in towards the area from the right-hand side, headed away by Clark again, and Durrow gets it further clear. Claxton chests that one down, fakes the pass back to Askew to buy himself some space, lays it off to Jed Abbey. First time pass into the feet of Osborne, but tricky one to deal with, and now James looks to come down the line, gets it back, and eventually wins the throw just inside the Alfreton half on the right wing for Warrington.
I think one thing I just want to kind of touch on, because you weren't here for that Hereford game. So we saw Solademi have a spell in that midfield when Lund come out the team and Solademi played as kind of that pivot. He was absolutely fantastic.
Really?
In that midfield role. I thought, looking at the team sheet before that game, I thought he's going to play 5 here with the new wing backs coming in on loan. He's got 3 centre backs on. But he played the 4. And Solademi played in that 6, and I give him the man of the match. He was absolutely brilliant. Some of the challenges he put in, and I'm surprised Billy's not stayed with that and kind of maybe gone with a double of Lund and Solademi in there. But then that creates a massive headache, obviously.
It does.
The talent we have in midfield. But I just had to say, obviously he's back into left back today, but that spell he had in midfield was exceptional. He was the best player on the day. Yeah,
and Solademi, a new arrival in from Ulverchurch, hasn't had this sort of results around the club that he'd have wanted, but certainly a man that probably deserves to be given his flowers since he came in, made the jump up to the National League North, and has looked pretty comfortable since he's come in. As Alfreton Town look to hook the ball into the box towards Francis once again, goes down under the challenge of the centre-half, Hamish Douglas, but that time isn't going to get the penalty.
Asking a bit much there.
Yeah, bounces out towards Claxton on the right-hand side. Prods it off to Lewis Salmon, bringing it back in field, challenged by Matty McDonald, who does win the ball back for the visitors. The ball looks to be sent down the line. It's a good block from Solademi to cut the passing lane. And eventually Anson recovers as well. Just helps him out, knocks it back to Askew. Clears upfield.
Great acrobatic interception there from Solademi, but it's one of them ones where Askew puts his name on it. The ball was probably coming through to him. And if anything, it was a great interception, but probably unneeded. But
eventually, thankfully, it didn't cause any problems for the Reds. So Anson sort of recycled that one back to Askew anyway. It got back to him just with a couple of extra steps.
Yeah, but obviously there was the opportunity where that ball was kind of in empty space after the interception. I thought a Warrington player was going to come and nick it.
Yeah. Well, as a defender, though, I imagine Solademi will have just thought, get Stop anything on this, yeah.
There was a run around the outside of him.
Ooh, Solademi's clearance there, blocked by McDonald. It is going to break for him inside the box, but Anson has no problem to recover there and clear that one away. That it doesn't get it as far as he would have wanted. Here's Amaral.
Looks like it bobbled up in that awful box.
Goes back to Dorrow. Out wide to White. Just inside the Alfreton half. Patience on the ball from Warrington as they try a little sort of triangular bouncing passing routine in the pass from Lee Williams. Back out wide to Mo Dorrow. Was on target, but the ball just sort of trickled underneath his foot and straight out for an Alfreton throw. About 20 yards from the byline in their own half. Claxton prepares to take this one. Thought about chucking it back to Jake Askew there, but Williams was switched onto that, so he's going to go down the line towards the halfway line. Beyond Francis, headed forward by Clark. Warrington prevent another throw from coming there, but Jed Abbey's going to try and bring that one down, poke it through for Salmon, who will get there into the box now on the right-hand side, pulls it back for Francis, and it's blocked on the line, back out to Adam Lund, and saved by Atherton unconvincingly, and eventually he does gather it, but a big chance for Alfred, and eventually the offside flag goes up, whether that's on Salmon or somebody. I'd imagine it's for someone on the line after Adam Lund's shot, but the play from Lewis Salmon to pull it back to the feet of Francis, and he had to keep it down. And that was just the one thing that I was thinking when it came to him and he was going to hit it first time. Just keep it down. And he did. But Peter Clark, I think it was both him and Hamish Douglas, threw their bodies on the line to desperately try and make the block, and they do. And eventually the ball ends up in the gloves of Atherton. And obviously the free kick is awarded for the offside after Adam Lund's shot.
Really intelligent play from Salmon to pull that back. I thought it was going to be one of them ones where you just see him kind of flash it across the area. Just pulls it back to Francis in so much space. And it's one of them where, I mean, the state of our pitch, we've mentioned it a couple of times, but those boxes especially, the goal mouths, are really bad. And I thought that ball might just bobble up as it gets to him. He's going to do really well to keep it down, keep his body over it, you know. But he showed great composure to keep it down. Side foot, looked to just stroke it into that far corner. But yeah, that's where those defenders were waiting and managed to prevent what would have been and should have been the second goal, the cushion that Alfreton would have loved in this first half. But it's once again more positive stuff. The ball from Jed Abbey especially to Salmon.
Really nice.
Really, really, really good stuff. There's a lot more promising than what we've seen in recent weeks.
Well, Warrington with a little spell of possession, which began from Atherton's clearance, going straight out for an Alfreton throw, but Solademi not having the fortune to keep it in place, or threw it straight back out for the visitors to get back for themselves. Worked the ball over to the left-hand side. White clipped the ball over the top, looking for Mo Dorrow making that run. But eventually his cross caught by Askew, but the flag was up on the forward regardless. Askew does take that free kick from inside his own box. Looking for Adam Lund. It's headed forward. Solademi does his best to win it. He's going to bounce back to a Warrington man. Out to Williams now on the right. Knocks it back for Douglas. He'll go back once more to the captain, 43-year-old Peter Clark. Over to White. Forward into the Alfreton half now. It's a poor pass which Anson picks up. Finds the feet of Cantrell and eventually lays that one back to Claxton, who clears up towards Francis. Douglas beats him to that one. Going to drop for Jed Abbey inside the midfield. Out to Lewis Salmon on the right-hand side. Plays the 1-2 with Jed Abbey. And it's a firm challenge. And the foul is given. It's a really sort of firm tackle on Jed Abbey from Dana Amaral. Looked like he did win the ball, but he launched into that one. Both his legs were off the ground.
Yeah, it was one of them where I don't think the referee was going to give it to the linesman. The flag's gone up straight away. So obviously the linesman, he's got a great view of it. It's right in front of him. So clearly it is a free kick. Although there's a couple disgruntled fans behind the goal thinking it should be a bit more. But I think it is just a free kick. And we thought it was a good challenge initially.
Yeah, from our angle.
But the linesman's give it. And I think if the linesman's giving the free kick, there's never going to be a booking.
Yeah.
If the referee's giving it, different story, but the referee I don't think was going to give that until he saw the flag go.
Well, nonetheless, Alfreton have themselves a free kick on that right-hand side, right just inside the touchline, probably about 10 yards away from being a corner. And it's Osborne stood over this one, preparing the right-footed delivery. One-man wall of Modoro for Warrington. Alfreton with the usual suspects inside the area. In it comes from Osborne, looking for Francis, whose header falls all the way back to Adam Lund, who lofts it back in to a dangerous area, but Atherton assertive off his line to claim that one. And he gets his team back forward. Thought about rolling that one out quickly to James, but he hesitates. Doesn't quite have the rollout that he wants on, so he just waits for his team to make their way back up, set up their defensive line just beneath the halfway line. Atherton does eventually launch that one, controlled by Osborne. Tries to keep it in play, but it's bobbled out for a Warrington throw. So the off-target sort of pass from Atherton ends up still remaining in Warrington's possession. Andy White heads over to take charge of this one, just in front of the away dugout. Looks to be chested back by the number 15 new signing, Joe Ackroyd, but that was straight back out for an Alfreton throw. It's going to be Claxton to take that one, it looks like, from a relatively similar position to the one that Warrington just had by the halfway line. Fourth official, make sure to let him know where to be. Right in front of the press box. And Claxton strides forward to the halfway line, launches it down the line. Francis gets his head to it, as does Abbey. Bounces down, eventually for the Warrington defence. Peter Clark clears and shouts were there for handball straight away on Francis, who kind of jumped up in a starfish to do his best to block that clearance, and they do get their wish.
Yeah,
free kick to Warrington.
I don't even think it hit his hands. I think it was just the way his body was. It was.
Yeah.
There's a very high possibility it did hit his hands because of the way he kind of threw them up for that kind of block.
A free kick to Warrington, right on the corner of their box on the left-hand side. From their perspective, Atherton clears. Wiley challenging Rodwell Grant for that one. Infield to Abbey. Up the line by Claxton. Francis tried to win that. It's going to trickle through into Atherton's box. Eventually picks that one up. Looks to pick his pass. He's waiting for the... No, he will roll it out. He goes long up towards Rodwell Grant. He's over on the left-hand side now. Cantrell looking to pinch it. Goes to ground. Referee waves play on. Lund goes to ground too, and that time the free kick will be awarded. Trying to break out of that sort of box that Warrington looked to put the Reds in. And Alfreton escape with the set piece. And Jake Askew comes out of his box to prepare to take this one from deep, probably about 20 yards inside the Alfreton half. We're only seeing Anson and Wiley head forward for this one. Solademi stays back alongside Cantrell and Claxton. The free kick will go towards the right flank, towards Lewis Salmon, but Askew gets that pass just wrong. It looked like it might land perfectly for Lewis Salmon, but bounces out for a throw on that far side for the visitors. It'll be Andy White to take this one. If you are just joining us, we are about 25 minutes into this fixture. Alfreton lead by a 1-0, courtesy of a Josh Claxton penalty. Keil Francis doing well inside the area to force Peter Clark to handle the ball. The referee pointed straight to the spot, and Alfreton looked to add a second. Osborne with some quick feet on the edge of the area, laid off for Claxton, who tries the cross, maybe shot, not too sure, but he felt he was fouled in the process, but that one sails over the crossbar, outside of the ground, thrown back into Atherton eventually. But yeah, Claxton with a rare goal from the penalty spot to put Alfreton ahead
I feel like
in this one.
Constantly saying he gets rare goals. They're coming more
Yeah,
frequent.
it's almost, yeah. Can it be a rare goal anymore if each goal he does get?
We've seen 4 now.
I was going to say. We saw him get his first, and we've seen him add a few to that since then.
I've seen him score more than you.
Yeah, that's very true. I think it's going to stay that way for a while. Warrington looked to break free over on that far side, but Cantrell are judged to have been a little bit too handsy. The referee gives a free kick to the visitors just behind the halfway line on the left flank.
Wow, outscored by Josh Claxton.
Yeah, that's certainly a title. Well, Peter Clark takes the free kick. The ball was rolling, but the referee was looking elsewhere. Osborne does his best to try and challenge, and eventually the referee now does give the order that the ball was rolling from the free kick, and he's going to make them retake it. So I'm not sure how that's worked. Did the linesman tell him and let him know from the other side, or?
No, I reckon he just saw it afterwards.
I was going to say, but the referee sort of allowed the free kick initially. The ball was, you know, it wasn't too contentious. It was pretty clearly rolling as Peter Clark struck that one over to the right-hand side. And they are going to have the opportunity to retake this one. It'll be Atherton, though, this time.
I think maybe he was seeing if we won the ball straight back.
Yeah, maybe.
Maybe. Because
then you wouldn't have the problem.
I've refereed before, and if I see a rolling ball, 9 times out of 10 I just let it go.
Well, Atherton's free kick does make its way into the box. Alfreton do clear. Osborne looks like he might break for himself from his own clearance, but it just about runs out of play for Warrington. Alfreton contending that decision, though. They believe Matthew McDonald got the last touch. Linesman stands firm in his view, though. Warrington will have the throw on the right-hand side, about 30 yards from goal. A few fakes of the throw before it goes to Williams. Pass is blocked, and Francis looked to latch onto that one, but it's going to roll back through for Douglas. Knocks it back into his own box for Atherton. Got Clark to his left. He's going to go long, though, right-footed, up towards Rodwell Grant, won by Wiley, into the feet of Abbey in the centre circle. Lays it off for Salmon. There's a little bit of space on that right-hand side now. Right on the touchline, checks back onto his left foot, into Abbey again. Salmon does get it back, waits on the cross, tries to deliver, and eventually poked out of play by Joe Ackroyd for Warrington. Alfreton do get the throw.
Basically a corner.
With Adam Lund on the pitch, yeah.
More or less a corner.
Adam Lund will head over to take this throw from the right-hand side. About 5 yards away from the corner flag. The linesman's made him move back a tiny bit. Resting up against that wall before he gets the opportunity to launch it into the area. Only Claxton and Cantrell are back. In it goes. Atherton gets something on that one to punch it clear, but it's out to Abbey on the edge. Knocks back out to Adam Lund, but the referee's whistle does go. I think it'll be a foul on the goalkeeper, or referee's indicating that it was something of a head injury, because he's going to now, he sort of tapped his own head when he was explaining it to the Alfreton players, and I think he's going to award the drop ball and just give it to Warrington, so effectively just giving them the free kick.
I don't have any clue what
No,
for.
I mean, yeah, apologies, but we are unsure as to what that was for.
I don't think there was anything that it was for. I don't know what they've seen, because it's not like we're all watching the game.
Yeah, nobody went down, nobody stayed on the ground for either team.
There wasn't anyone down. He's just,
I think it
kind of been on the keeper. He'd come and punched the ball.
Yeah, the keeper got the ball. Atherton did well to sort of punch that one into out of danger, but yeah, drop ball was given nonetheless, which would indicate that it was for an injury, but nobody's off the pitch. Everyone's good to keep going. Douglas lays this one back to Atherton. It's a dodgy touch, but he recovers really well. The goalkeeper tries to control it in that sort of bomb site of a 6-yard box.
The peat bog.
He kind of does well to sort of recover and pull a sort of feint on the on-rushing Francis to maintain possession. That could have gone very wrong for the man in pink. But
what we talk about, no man's land on that pitch.
Yeah.
Is what it's like. It's just bobbled up as Atherton's going to take his touch, and he was in a lot of trouble momentarily.
Yeah, took a lot of composure, though, to kind of not just try and aimlessly hack that one away. He backed himself to turn, and he did exactly that. Got himself out of trouble, and eventually Warrington Managed to get the ball clear. It's back with Alfreton. That one could come into the gantry.
I was about to move.
A little bit less spin on that one from Jake Askew, and we could have had another ball in the gantry.
I think if it's going to come up here, though, it's going to be spinning, isn't it? You've got to slice it.
Yeah, that's true.
To get it up here.
Because I doubt they're aiming for us.
Oh, steady on.
Really bit of quick bit of skill from Rodwell Grant. Little drag back and back heel pass through.
L-drag is the official term.
Is that the official terminology? Thank you.
L-drag.
See, you know your stuff. But eventually, Warrington win themselves what will be their first corner of the afternoon. McDonald's over to take it on that right-hand side. Captain Clark and Douglas head into the area as the aerial threats. Only Osborne left forward for Alfred and every other red shirt inside the box. Referee gives him the nod. McDonald still waits before taking this one. One arm is raised. Right-footed delivery towards the centre of the area. Oh, and Douglas does get there, but didn't quite have the conviction to find the back of the net.
Off Akil Francis, which is what killed any of momentum. He just went over Francis's head and he kind of headed it straight into the back of him.
Yeah, it sort of just bounced off of him. Eventually letting Askew to claim that one without too much bother.
A lot of danger. When that ball bounces in the box, it's really dangerous. You've got it because it becomes a 50-50 on who reacts first. And luckily, Askew was on hand.
Well, eventually, linesman has thankfully given the offside in favour of Alfred. And there is the goal kick from Jake Askew. Went up into the Warrington back line. It was headed forward. Anson looked to clear, but was contested by Williams, who came back from an offside position. The shouts were there immediately from the Reds. And the referee agrees. Free kick is awarded. Claxton stands over it, just inside his own half on the right-hand side. Solademi, Wiley and Anson all forward. Osborne has himself in a little bit of space at the back post as well if Claxton can find him. It goes towards Wiley in the centre, headed out to the edge. Jed Abbey trying to make something of it. It's going to drop for Osborne. Takes his touch beyond the man, but a little bit too heavy. Warrington happy to see that one out for a goal kick in the end. But set pieces looking to like they could be the sort of tail of the tape this afternoon. Warrington have themselves a goal kick, which Atherton will be happy to take from the left-hand side of his own 6-yard box. Forward it comes from Atherton up towards Rodwell Grant, but Claxton heads away. Francis gets the flick on. Salmon giving chase on Andy White, who tries to roll it back to his goalkeeper but doesn't get the pass right on his weaker foot. Atherton looks to be in disbelief as to why he's even tried that. And the corner conceded by the left back, Andy White. And Osborne will stride over to take this one from the far side from the Gantry's point of view. Be another right-footed delivery to the back post, you'd imagine. We're seeing Alfreton send forward their big three. Solademi, Anson and Wiley formed a little love train on the edge of the box. Lewis Salmon standing on the goal line. In it comes from Osborne towards the centre of the box, flicked away, not too far, but Adam Lund tries the half volley and it comes crashing back off the crossbar. Recycled back out to Osborne on the right-hand side though, trying to work a yard for himself to get the cross in.
He's won another corner.
Stood up well by the defender, and that one's going to go out for a throw, which is effectively a corner. Adam Lund heads over to take this one, but yeah, great effort from Lund on the.
You see that was
on the volley.
You know, like that Thiago goal against Porto. It's the same
where
kind
it
of
goes down and then up,
wasn't it? It didn't go down enough. It kind of went high and heading towards the top corner, and then just rose up at the end, didn't it? And hit the bar. But the technique, the way he kind of
came across
angled his body, yeah.
Well, Adam Lund's throw. Lewis Salmon tries to recreate something on that volley at the back post, but Warrington clear their lines. Williams is going to get there ahead of Abbey, and they could be breaking here. Williams has James overlapping, opts to cut inside himself, sets up the shot on his right foot. Cantrell looked to put a foot in there, which could have been dangerous because that was rolling through to Jake Askew, and eventually, because Cantrell opted to leave that one or didn't get something on it, it does roll through to Jake Askew in goal, but that could have taken a little nick, a little deflection. It could end up anywhere. But Alfreton clear their lines for now. Jake Askew sends that one far and away. So far it goes out of the ground, bounces off the roof above the home dugout, and Pam's going to have to go and collect that one in her own time. Warrington have the throw inside their own half.
She's already off, I can see her. Wonder Woman.
She is. She's not happy. She's only just got the one from earlier.
She's still got it in hand.
Well, Warrington look to break down the left-hand side, and a ball is put into the area by Dorrow, but Askew happy to stroll off of his line and claim that one without too much problem. And it has been something that's been, Jake Askew distributing the ball, I think is probably the most repetitive event of the afternoon so far. And he will do so again, up towards Francis. Clark gets there ahead of him. Adam Lund tries to poke it through, but Atherton's going to gather that one easily. And Clark goes down sort of holding his head, and the referee is going to stop the game again for what looks like a head injury that we can actually see this time.
Yeah.
He sort of went down.
I'm not surprised he's in his 40s.
Yeah. And that just reminds me as well, that in the reverse fixture this season, Peter Clark up against Jake Day was a real battle for 90 minutes, both of them going at it, a real physical contest. And he's had Akil Francis to deal with this time instead, and whilst Francis isn't the sort of physical body that Jake Day is, he's been causing him problems, no more so than when he forced the penalty from Peter Clark, but Francis has to close down Atherton from that drop ball, but he clears up towards Wiley, and Warrington eventually hoof that one upfield, will bounce out for an Alfreton throw.
I have to say, though, in this first kind of 35 minutes, Francis has made a fantastic account of himself as far as I'm concerned. His work ethic, the way he's chased things. I mean, he was nearly rewarded for his efforts when that ball bounced up to Atherton, and he's won the penalty. He's been just there flicking on a header. I mean, he's been fantastic.
Yeah. Probably could have had a goal as well from that pullback from Lewis Salmon, but
yeah. If he hit it a bit harder, got a bit of height, got it in that kind of mid-range, it goes in. I think he was just focused on making sure it didn't bobble up on that goal, that kind of box area, because it's so bobbly. Yeah. Made sure he kept it down, and that was ultimately what made it easy to block. But the hardest thing is you've got to make sure you get the shot on target, otherwise you've got no chance of scoring.
Well, Francis, as we speak, breaks down the right-hand side, looks to put in a cross. It is blocked by Douglas and rolls out for a corner. Alfreton with the momentum now. Even since that goal, they've stayed on top, which is a big thing that we've seen in games where Alfreton managed to get a goal, but then they can't convert that momentum any further than that. But in this first half, it really has been all Alfreton. Warrington have had the odd chance from a corner. Douglas's header that kind of bounced through to Jake Askew, but outside of that, not really much for the away side to show for so far. And we'll have another corner from that right-hand side. Osborne lines it up. The players all standing on the line this time as opposed to the edge of the box. In it goes towards Adam Lund, and his header hits the bar again. Atherton
fantastic save.
Reacts quickly to tip that one onto the crossbar. And Adam Lund denied by the woodwork for a second time in this first half. And then the ball is eventually turned behind by a red shirt out for an Alfreton goal kick, but you can talk us through that save from Daniel Atherton.
Yeah, the reflex is on display there. It's he's just kind of flung his left arm up at the ball, and he's managed to push it from what was a certain goal up and onto the bar and out, and that is a real lifeline for Warrington. The header at the back post from Adam Lund's great. He's had to kind of lean over to get there. He's hit it. It's powerful. It looked like it was going to nestle in, but a fantastic save, and he has massively kept Warrington in the game in this first half. Yeah,
he's kind of prevented that sort of textbook corner. It was a good delivery from Osborne, and it's come to Adam Lund, and he's done what you're told to. He's headed it down into the ground, back across the way it's come. But he's denied by an absolutely superb stop from Daniel Atherton. And like you say, that could be the difference. If that's the stop that keeps them in it at 1-0, if there's only one goal in the game, then it can change in a moment.
Well, we learned last season, at 2-1 later on, they salvaged a point. Football's a game of fine margins, and right now that crossbar has been Warrington's best friend. But Atherton, don't take anything away from him, because he's not had to dive after it, but it just looked like he was going to be rooted to the spot, and he just threw his arm up. Fantastic save.
Well, Warrington do look to break now on the left-hand side off the back of that lifeline. Comes in field to Amaral. Happy to just knock that one across for Douglas. Tries the right-footed pass in field towards Williams, but it's picked off by Solademi. Abbey gives it back to the left-back. His clearance goes all the way through to Atherton. Waits to send it upfield on his right foot towards Williams, but it goes in between that kind of gap of the winger and the defender. And Jake Askew, quick off his line, happy to claim that one. And yeah, and that's kind of, he's got big gloves to fill, I should say, filling in for George Willis. Since his absence, we've seen a couple of goalkeepers come in and try and do exactly that, but in this game, Jake Askew's looked relatively assured. He's not had to make a proper diving save yet, but there's been multiple instances where we've seen him quick off his line. He looks confident, which can only mean good things. The ball eventually drops for Claxton on the right-hand side for Alfreton. Francis tries the header. That one's going to bounce through. Could have bounced out for a goal kick, but Atherton opted to get there quickly and keep it in with the chance of a counter-attack, but he looks visibly frustrated that Williams wasn't making the run sooner, so he has to keep the ball in his hands for longer, loses the chance of the breakaway. And you'd imagine he'd go long. Up towards Rodwell Grant, challenged by Wiley, wins the header.
Yeah, I think he wants to play quickly because he's sending these balls long and they're just coming back every time. He sends them long. You've got, big units at the back, all across, other than obviously Claxton and right back. You've got the Solidemi, Wiley and Anson kind of trio at the back, and you're going to put it up against those three. Your ball is probably going to come back.
Well, good skill from the right back James to cut inside of Osborne. Looked to feint the clearance down the line, brought it inside, but nothing coming of it as Anson steps up into midfield after winning the ball back, lays it off to Abbey. Now across to Salmon, worked from left to right. Salmon, right-footed cross, blocked by Amaral, but kind of bubbles just before it reached him and out for another corner. But Osborne, in the midst of that, battling to win it back after James got past him, stayed down on the halfway line for a little bit. He is back to his feet.
Bit of a hobble.
Yeah, and I was going to say, as the kind of designated corner taker, it's now quite obvious as he's hobbling over. Yeah, I know how he feels, mate. He's making his way over, and I was going to say, right from the other side of the pitch.
Looks like impact.
Yeah, hopefully just one of the ones that he can run off, getting a bit of a jog on it now. But he is eventually over to take that corner. I mean, normally that would be the sort of thing that he gets accused of wasting time, but I think everybody in the ground saw that he got hit quite hard. So he's done his best to make his way over there.
Yeah, I think when Anson stepped up into midfield, he knew the right back had come on the overlap, and he was looking for Osborne running in that space, but he was down injured on the halfway line.
Well, Osborne will take this corner in towards the centre of the box again. Atherton off his line to claim that one, and he distributes quickly like he's wanted to all afternoon into the feet of Williams. Good pass inside to Rodwell Grant. Warrington looked to get away on the counter. Still with Rodwell Grant on the left-hand side now. Looks to cross on his left foot, blocked by Claxton. Wiley absolutely lashes that one into Andy White, wins the throw, puts a stop to that break from the away side, gives Alfreton a chance to breathe. I think that's probably something that Atherton's wanted to do for the entire game when he gets the ball. Just get rid of it quickly, because he knows when Alfreton have these set pieces, the big targets are in the box and the big targets are the defenders. So there's a chance to break when the Reds are weakened at the back. And that's probably the first time, really, that he's properly had his way with it. Yeah, and Warrington had a chance on the left to get a cross in, but eventually blocked by Claxton, and Alfreton have themselves a throw inside their own half now on the right.
I think as well, when you look at the Alfreton team and you want to play on the counter-attack against them, where get out quick while the big bodies are forward, there's no one really in this team without bags of pace other than Lewis Salmon, really, and he's obviously going to be high up the pitch, so you play out quick. I mean, there was a couple of little intricate passes and looked like they could have come on the front foot. They got the edge of the box. When they're just kind of aimlessly pumping this ball along, it is just coming
straight back.
And he's clearly got the idea. He's energetic. He wants to get his team up forward and on the front foot, and he wants to kind of get them having chances in this game before. I mean, it's been a very assured performance by Alfreton so far, and it looks like it's a matter of time for when a second or a third goes in. He wants to get them on the front foot, on the counter-attack, playing out quickly without the ball just coming back straight away while they're still in the game. Yeah,
and the fact of the matter is the only reason that they are still in the game is down to him.
Yeah.
After that spectacular save to
and
deny
that dodgy
Adam
back
Land.
pass as well, he dealt with that very well.
Did really well to deal with that one. Probably been the standout performer for Warrington so far. Adam Land opts to go short from this throw on the right-hand side. Great turn by Osborne. But Andy White clears that one straight into the winger. It's going to bounce out for a goal kick for Atherton to take, and he is sprung off of his line to get there as quick as he can. Again, just looking to get the play underway as swiftly as possible, but it just feels like his team aren't on the same wavelength as him, because there's been a few times now where he's been visibly frustrated and annoyed that his team aren't making the runs that he wants as soon as he gets the ball in his hands. But his goal kick does go long, won by an Alfreton head. Adam Lund looks to clip it down the line towards Francis. Clark there to deal with it. Turned back in field now to Osborne. Goes into the feet of Abbey. Nice turn to try and keep it going. And he goes down under the challenge from Amaral. Wanted the free kick, but the referee says nothing doing there.
Two, I think.
We should be seeing the board go up for added time imminently. Atherton again with the ball in his hands. James dropping off to give him the option. Atherton gives him a very blunt no in response and sends it long up towards Rodwell Grant. Solidemi does head that one clear, only as far as Williams tries to play the pass across to James, who made the overlap, but it was picked off by Osborne. Adam Lund made the clearance. And after the clearance, sort of, there was a trailing leg from Matty McDonald, so he was always going to go down. Earns that free kick. And
he's held the ball.
I was going to say, the fourth official, I've looked up, I don't know if that was at the end of his sort of rotation, but he has just shown about 10 people how much added time there is. Thankfully, that will include the press box, because that's right behind where he stood. But it sounded like...
I'd the 2 minutes before he put it up.
Yeah.
Yeah, you have one job. You literally have one job, and that is to hold up the board, and you've held it the wrong way around. Well,
thankfully, Matty's keen eye and the tan eye have informed us that it should be about 2 minutes of added time. As Jake Askew sends that free kick long, flicked on by Salmon and Francis. Did give chase on Andy White, but the fullback does well to shepherd that one out for a goal kick, which Atherton will take as the Warrington players make their way back forward.
I just want to see this first half simmer out now. I don't think we're going to see the opportunity for, a handful of chances before this stoppage time goes off. I think we'll just see a bit of that.
Yeah. Atherton drilling the ball forward from his goal kick, straight out for an Alfreton throw, relatively uncontested. It didn't look like there was anybody on that side of the pitch. So I imagine there's going to be a little bit of discontent at half-time between Atherton and the rest of his players. Claxton sends that throw down the line towards Francis. He got the flick on, nodded it onto a Warrington player and wins the throw. It looked like it could have gone the other way.
Stand corrected
from up here. But here we go. Adam Lund with what may well be the last opportunity of this first half with a throw-in. Kind of equidistant distance between the corner flag and the dugout. Shouts for that one to go into the box from beneath us in the gantry. Sure Matty would agree.
Yep.
Adam Lund lines it up. It will go long into the area towards Wiley. Punched away by Atherton. Defender got something on that one as well. And eventually Amaral manages to prevent the corner, knocks it out for a throw. I mean,
it's the same thing, mate.
I was going to say, yeah.
Save your energy.
May as well have knocked out for the corner. Adam Lund prepares another throw in. In it goes towards the near post, looking for Wiley and Anson. Headed away well by Amaral. And the clearance brings an end to this first half. Referee blows for half-time. Alfreton Town lead by a 1-0, courtesy of that early Josh Claxton penalty around 10 minutes in. Good work from Salmon, and then eventually Akil Francis to make something happen inside the area. Peter Clark penalised for the handball, and Alfreton have themselves a lead to hang on to. It's pretty much been a comfortable half for the Reds. Not too much going forward for the visitors so far. Had a couple of set pieces, but outside of that, not too much going on for the Warrington front line. So Alfreton will look to take this lead into Billy at half-time.
Yeah, really good first half performance. Positive assured. Cruising, maybe a little bit too far to go, but Warrington really haven't caused any problems up our end. They've come forward, but they've not tested Jake Askew. It's been fairly comfortable, smooth sailing, and hopefully we continue that journey into the second half, and final destination is 3 points. But we're going to take our scheduled half-time break to warm our voices up to bring you all the second half action. Thank you everyone for tuning in to the first half, and we'll see you then. sort of the willow sin bin. It's the willow sin bin. Yeah, they send you off, and then you can bring someone back on.
But it can't be you.
I got injured in a game. Someone got sent off, and the ref was like, "Yeah, you can bring someone back on, but it's not him." And then Jake he runs in the change room. Why are you going back on? Oh yeah, well,
We are back. Partially.
there you go.
We should be. There's a little bit of delay.
The sound's on.
Yeah.
We just went with the camera to turn.
The camera shall appear. Fingers crossed. Well, we shall resume. Alfreton, both the teams take back to the pitch. Referee comes out the tunnel with the football. Ready for the second 45 hit at the Impact Arena on a rare sunny day. As soon as February comes to an end, we've immediately just got some sun for some reason, which is nice. I'm not complaining.
Hooray!
But Alfreton leading this game 1-0 thanks to that Josh Claxton penalty in the 10th minute. Good work from Francis to win it. Forced the handball from the captain for the opposition, Peter Clark. Duly dispatched by the number 2, Josh Claxton. And the referee prepares to get things back underway for this second half. Doesn't look like there's been any changes. I'm just kind of glancing around at all the players.
Will someone get Jadavi some bigger shorts?
Or some bigger socks.
Getting some socks, getting some shorts, getting some up, because I can nearly see everything.
Referee double checks with the goalkeepers. Blows his whistle, and we are back underway for the second 45. Adam Lund takes a bit of a thrust from Williams immediately as the ball goes long straight into the gloves of Daniel Atherton in the Warrington goal. Alfreton just need to look to kill this game off now. It's been, I think, used the word cruising in the first half, which I think is, quite fair.
Smooth sailing, I think, is
smooth sailing is probably more accurate, yeah.
Cruising.
But
we're nearly cruising.
We're almost there, almost cruising. But since that early goal from Josh Claxton, it was a really positive start. And from that point, Warrington didn't threaten all that much. Probably telling of sort of where both the teams are at the moment. Alfreton lead, with a penalty, haven't really made the other chances count. Warrington haven't done all that much going forward. Probably speaks to where both teams are in the table.
Yeah, if we got that second goal, one of them chances, the Francis chance or the Lund chance goes in, then we're cruising. But right now,
we're nearly there.
We're smooth sailing, but there could be a storm coming.
Could be an iceberg.
Hopefully.
Oh, Francis with a good bit of control to keep that one in play. Little back heel as it looked like it might sail off the pitch on that right-hand side. Warrington do pinch it back, though. McDonald has time to turn and play a nice pass out to the fullback James, who's bombed on now on the right-hand side.
Numbers forward for.
Bringing it forward, right-footed cross in towards the box. Jake Askew, probably the most he's had to do this afternoon so far. Makes a confident claim with that cross. Brings it down to his chest and waits for the Alfreton side to regain their shape.
It's been a nice afternoon for Jake. A lot's just gone straight into him, hasn't it?
Yeah, he's not had too much to do. Not had to throw himself around particularly. Well, his long pass headed forward by Warrington, by White, and that one's kind of stuck to his head. Falls out to Osborne on the centre. Skips past his man, but doesn't quite manage to keep it under control. Goes back to Adam Lund inside the centre circle. Shifts it over to the right-hand side, looking for Salmon. Knocks it around the corner. Beyond White towards Abbey. Tries the first-time cross. Blocked by Amara, and Abbey happy to let that one trickle out for a throw for Adam Lund to come over and launch himself.
That was anticlimactic. I was like, what's Abbey going to do here? Is he going to do it? No, he was just like, yeah, I'm going to do it. Yeah, no, let's just let it go out for
he sold it well, though, didn't he?
Was that like Nike advert kind of thing? When the one's like, I'm Neymar, and then he just turns around backwards. It had that kind of vibe to it.
Well, nonetheless, Alfreton have a chance from an Adam Lund throw. In it goes right by the corner flag. Drops into the area. Ackroyd can't get it fully clear. Abbey tries the shot from the edge. And eventually, Cantrell has it about 25 yards from goal, forced to turn out and lay it back to Claxton on the halfway line. A left-footed swing back into the area. It's not a bad cross on his weak foot. Headed away by White, though, only as far as Lund. Making Wiley sort of try and spin to keep that one alive. I don't think that was going to happen. James lays it back to Douglas, and it's cleared upfield by Warrington into Rodwell Grant. Ackroyd, ball rolls under his boot there. Osborne happy to pinch it. Tries the shot with his right foot from outside the box, and that one out of the ground. Might have hit, your car as it's sort of bounced through.
That's a player's car park. Might hit Jed Abbey's car, that's why he's upset. Or maybe he just wanted the ball.
Yeah.
Just looked like it bobbled up there for Osborne as he was about to take his strike in. He's good at carrying the ball, got to the edge of the box. He did a similar thing last week against Hereford where he kind of dribbled up to the edge of the box and the ball just bobbled up as he set himself to shoot, and therefore he couldn't keep it on target. But once again, positive stuff. We're just
it's an opportunity.
Away. We've got to keep asking these questions, and hopefully we finally get the answer in that second goal. That will just make things so much calmer.
Well, Atherton's goal kick this time, picked off by an Alfreton man once more. Lewis Salmon, that's a easy foul for the referee to award. As O'Mara looked to take that one quickly, but Salmon, wasn't quite obstructing it because he was on the ground, but I think he could have, gotten up a little bit quicker, but I think he knew what he was doing.
Yeah, little spell of the dark arts there from Salmon. I think the tactical foul while he was on the floor, and then just keeping a hold of the shirt as he was pushed away.
Well, Atherton prepares this free kick from just outside the centre circle. Both Clark and Douglas are forward, and it's a really poor free kick.
And he's in trouble.
It's broken through for Akil Francis. Atherton backpedaling. He is back onto his line, but Francis into the box. Couple step overs, right-footed shot. Atherton gets down well to save that one, and he apologises to his teammates immediately because that was a really poor, sloppy free kick. Just gave it away immediately, and Francis made sure to keep himself inside his own half for the pass to be played to him whilst he was onside. Had the time to run into the area. You thought for just a moment when he got the ball, is he going to snap a shot first time?
I think if it's on his right foot, he might have taken it.
I was going to say.
Left, and he's decided to drive, and he did look up, check the goalkeeper's position. Thought it's going to be one of the ones it's going to be really hard to pull off. He drove into the box well in a really good kind of little double step over, took it onto his stronger right foot, opened his body out to try and find that far corner. He kept it low, worked the goalkeeper, but never really troubled him too much. I think when you open your body up like that, the goalkeeper knows you're only going one way.
Yeah.
And he knew where to be, and you've got to bury it. He kind of went for placement over power, which made it easy for Atherton to kind of what's the word I'm thinking of? Rectify his blunder.
Yeah. Atoned for his error.
One of them. Someone get me a thesaurus.
Well, Warrington have themselves a throw on the right-hand side just in front of the Alfreton dugout. Taking their time over this one. Don't think the pass is presenting itself. McDonald tries to spin. Still has it, the number 10. Goes back out to James. Skips beyond Osborne in field. Cuts it back to O'Mara, who's got space. Lays it off to Clark. Carries it forward. Few cries to shoot from the big man at the back. Laid it off to White, though, who's whipped it in, and Jake Askew off his line to claim that one as well. I think we're seeing, Clark and Douglas go forward for these set pieces, and the goal kicks just aren't sticking for Warrington. I wouldn't be surprised if they bring on Josh Amiss. They just need a big man up there to kind of throw their weight around and win these long balls that are coming long from Daniel Atherton.
God, that's the second one that's teasing
me
today.
Not far away. And speaking of long balls, that one aimed at Akil Francis running through, but Atherton off his line. But it was in that sort of awkward range where, if he went to catch it, you're probably getting loud cries for handball right on the edge of his own area. So he took the safe route, just cleared it away with his foot. But that does mean an Adam Lund throw.
Bench, by the way.
Adam Lund prepares this throw from just beneath the gantry, so we can't see it. But we'll see the ball fly in, I'm sure. Wiley and Anson both forward. There is that football in towards the near post, headed away well by a Warrington man. I think it was O'Mara. And away again, that time doesn't quite get the connection on it. Williams isn't happy with that because he wanted the ball down the line, but out it goes for another throw for Adam Lund. Basically a replica of what we just had. Yeah, basically the same position.
We've mentioned we've got a really good crowd as well today here at the Impact. More than we usually see. I think that's to do with the
nice
sun
weather
shining, which obviously has hurt the watch-along numbers. But for those of you here, still, we appreciate you tuning in.
Well, Adam Lund's throw that time. Peter Clark first to the ball, heads it clear, but it bounces out for a third throw-in in succession for Adam Lund. About 5-10 yards away from the corner flag on that right-hand side. Hasn't moved the ad balls out the way, unusually. But there we go, the throw launched into the area towards Solidemi, headed away by Clark. It's going to come back out to Lund on the right-hand side. Right-footed cross towards the back post, headed down, and somehow not put into the back of the net. Akil Francis had to really sort of readjust his body to try and direct that header at goal, but Atherton claimed it and he looks to set his side away on the break that he's wanted to do all afternoon. Pass laid out to Doro on the left flank up against Adam Lundu. Gets back and tackles him out for a Warrington throw, and the referees had to stop the game because Peter Clark, I think he got himself tangled in the net in a desperate attempt to block that effort. Yeah, and he stayed on the ground, but he is back to his feet now.
So unlucky. It was hung up really well by Lund at the back post for Salmon, who he got up really well. He doesn't have to leap like a Salmon.
He does indeed.
When he gets up, heads it back across goal, and Akil Francis, I mean, he couldn't get any power on the header because Salmon headed it down. I think he was trying to get it on goal himself. Come off the wrong part of his head and has come across goal. And Francis has almost done like a squat to try and get down to the ball, which means when you're coming down, you can't generate the power to come through the header. So he's kind of come down, directed it towards goal, but it's not had the power, and Alfreton's kind of scrambled back across his goal and it's just landed in his hands. He'd be very grateful that was the case, because once again it was a good opportunity, but nevertheless it stays 1-0 and Alfreton keep asking the questions, but they're going unanswered at the moment.
Well, Alfreton managed to clear their lines, get the ball up into the Warrington half, but they do concede the throw on that far side inside the Warrington half. Forward the throw goes over the head of Solidemi, but Osborne collects it, dispossessed by McDonald, only temporarily. Quick feet from Solidemi to try and knock it round the corner, but Rodwell Grant has it at his feet and tries to find his way out to Doro, but Claxton intercepts, sends the clearance up towards Francis. It's bobbling into the area. Good control in the end from Douglas to sort of nick that one away from the feet of Francis. Good challenge from James. Francis tries the shot. It's all a bit all over the place for Warrington at the moment. Claxton with a cross from the right-hand side. Doesn't quite get the direction on it, and it hits the side netting.
He had space to get that under control. I don't know why he's kind of taking it first time when he's back over it himself. He's off balance, you know. He's not got the ball under control. Just take it wide, slow the game down, set yourself, and, you know, either play it back or put the cross in. He's kind of panicked for me there.
Yeah, I think it could also maybe be seen as he was trying to sort of take advantage of the uncertainty, because there was about a 15-second spell where neither side really had the ball. It was just kind of bouncing between the two teams. And, if he just gets that ball into the box quickly, causes a bit of chaos, then you never know what could happen. But unfortunately for him and for Alfreton, it just nestled in the side netting. Here is Claxton looking to turn that one away. Lewis Salmon challenged by White. The referee says no foul. White into the feet of Williams. Has a bit of space, lays it off for Doro on the left. Approaching the box now, right-footed cross towards the back post, but nobody there for Warrington. Jake Askew under no pressure to claim that one. Keep the score at 1-0 for the Reds.
Well, Brackley have come from 2-0 down at Darlington to be 3-2 up.
Wow.
It's quite the turnaround at Darlington as well, who they've been in some great form.
Quite the turnaround for our opponents next weekend. Jake Askew sends this ball long up towards Francis. Does something to try and sort of put off Clark, but White clears that one long towards Rodwell Grant, heads it down. Was hoping Doro could get there, but Claxton with a good clearance up the line. Clark comes across to chest that one down, looks to take control, knocks it around the corner well for White. Keeps his team in possession. Into the feet of Williams, doesn't get the shout of a man on. And Wiley intercepts, but he has stayed down injured. Abbey into Francis, who tries to flick it round the corner. Referee says no foul, but he is going to blow his whistle and come back to talk to Dwayne Wiley, I think, because he wanted the free kick after nicking it from Williams. I think that's just a case of the referee explaining why he's not given the free kick to Dwayne Wiley. He's walking a little tentatively on his left foot. And he's calling him in now. Whether that's the role as the captain or he's got Anson in around him as well, who was the main sort of defendant of Wiley there, trying to claim that free kick. And the referee just discussing with the two Alfreton centre-backs. No cards dished out.
Adam just asking for some sort of free kick at some point. I think there was two potential ones that could have been given our way in that kind of spell. He's asking the question, not letting it go. Well,
the referee restarts play with the throw for Warrington inside their own half. Andy White sends it down the line towards Rodwell Grant, then to Williams, looks to flick it round the corner. Anson forced to just knock that one out. for a Warrington throw. Ackroyd, new arrival, wanted to take that one quickly, but eventually just lays that one back for his teammate, Amaral. Into the feet of Douglas. They look to beat the Alfreton press. Douglas knocks it across to James. Williams back inside to James. Nice bit of possession from Warrington, but it's put to a stop by David Solademi, putting a foot in on the right back. His opposite number out for a Warrington throw, and we are going to see a triple change for Warrington. Big response from the manager, knows that he needs to change things up, I think. And we're seeing Rodwell Grant and Ackroyd coming off, as well as Mo Doro. And those coming on, we will bring you confirmation of.
Staying on.
Oh yeah, he is.
Williams.
We'll figure it out, yeah. Number 7, Williams coming off, Doro coming off, and Ackroyd. I think that's the 3.
Yep.
So we're seeing the number 8, Mikey O'Neill, introduced. And I'm going to have to wait for the other lads to turn around, I'm afraid, before I give you the news, because they're still waiting on the touchline.
Is that Joshua Miss, number 9?
I think it will. Yeah, I think he's still on the side. I want to say, is that Peter Clark that's gone off and handed a miss the armband? Well, that's Devon Green coming on, the number 25. And I think it is the number 9, Joshua Miss, coming on in place of one of those 3 substitutes. So a big shake-up for Warrington. Oh no, Clark. Sorry, Clark has stayed on, but he's just given a miss the armband. So someone else has had to come off then.
So it's Ackroyd, Williams, and
Doro, the 12. Got there in the end. As Warrington restart play with that throw into the area. Osborne looking to break now as he carries the ball away.
Just held it a second too long.
Tries to play it down the line to Francis. He wanted the free kick, but Warrington wanted the free kick so much sooner, and I think Douglas has talked his way, or shouted his way into a booking there, as he was verbalising his displeasure to the referee.
The thing is, I think he's given a throw-in to Alfreton here, and it wasn't. It was either a Warrington throw-in or an Alfreton free kick, and I would have given it a Warrington throw-in, because there wasn't too much. Osborne held on the ball too long. The ball was there to be won, and then he played it as the challenge came in, and obviously the pressure was enough to make him put it out of play. But instead, he's kind of just completely giving us the throw-in.
Well, Warrington have the ball to deal with inside their box. Anson looks to knock it back to Claxton. First time left-footed cross into Francis. Salmon can't get the ball out of his feet to try the shot. Warrington tried to get it clear, and eventually...
Francis did well there.
Eventually, James steps in to make the clearance now with Green. Tries to clear it. It's going to actually turn into an Alfreton cross. Goodness me, a bit of pinball in the box. Mikey O'Neill gets it back from Green, knocks it inside.
It's not the
tries
place
to turn,
to be doing that.
Gives it straight back to Josh Claxton. Finds Jed Abbey in some space on the edge. He could shoot here. I think he wanted to on his left foot, but he lays it off for Osborne. It's trickled in. Sam Osborne makes it 2 for the Reds. From the edge of the area, the shot came in, and it's just bounced underneath the gloves of Daniel Atherton. The pressure finally telling for the Reds. That 1-0 lead, as slim as it was dominant from Alfreton for a long, long time, and finally they have reward for that dominance. Osborne makes it 2-0, and it looked like one of those shots that Atherton, who's been probably Warrington's best player in this game, was going to get to, but it's that awkward area. It's bounced in the dugout, and it, maybe it's hit a little bobble or a little mound in the box, but into the back of the net it goes regardless. I'm sure he won't care how it's gone in, but Alfreton lead by 2-0 in this second half, and Warrington have it all to do now.
Well, it's cruising time.
There we go, we're finally cruising.
But it's one of them. What is Green doing? He's in his own corner, under pressure, bodies forward for Alfreton, and he's trying to play out.
Pull out Cruyff
Just
turns.
get rid of it. He's trying to play nice football out of his own half, and they've lost it. It's come to Jed. It looked like Jed was going to hit it. He lays it off for Osborne, who strikes it well. It's towards the corner. I think the pitch, the awful goal mouth has played a massive role in making it bobble up just as it's got to Atherton. I think he was down. He was meeting it on the floor because it was rolling, and it's kind of bounced up over his hands because of that goal mouth. I mean, I wish you could see how the state of the goal mouth. And I think that's played a massive help with Osborne getting his first goal for Alfreton since joining from Boston last month. But yeah, it's a combination of Warrington not clearing their lines. I mean, it all come from that scramble in the box where Francis brought the ball down brilliant, didn't he? Just set it for Salmon to strike. Luckily, the ball kind of landed dead in the box, and Salmon couldn't get his shot away. Tried to flick it away. Warrington should have cleared it, but the defender took a touch, which gave Francis time to get across and block the clearance, which is where the ball ended up in that corner with Green, who did way too much with it. Give the ball back. Claxton, Abbey, Osborne. Simple as that, and that was the second.
Well, Rodwell Grant tries his luck from distance to try and find a route back into the game for the visitors, but no problem at all for Jake Askew.
4-2 back.
4-2.
Yeah, 4-2 at Brackley now.
Goal fest.
They were 2-0 down in the first half. Early on as well, about half an hour in, they were 2-0 down.
Oh, Jake Askew sends this one long towards Salmon, looks to trap it. Doesn't quite stick for him though, and it will result in a throw for Warrington. And the referee has said something to substitute Mikey O'Neill, and he's now running over to the bench.
Points towards his boot.
I was going to say, yeah, he's pointing towards his boot. And I'm not too sure what the issue is, because he's now gone to run back on, but now he's stopping, and now he's coming back on. Didn't take anything off, didn't change anything. And the referee looks like he's actually just going to be fine with it, and we're going to be back underway. I am very unsure. I think his boot might have ripped on the top, because I can see sock. I can see grip sock through the top of his boot, but he's happy to continue. Don't see that every day. Well, Alfreton back with the ball in possession as Dwayne Wiley looks to clip that one down the line towards Francis. It's headed away by Hamish Douglas. James draws the foul on Francis. Free kick to Warrington, just outside their own box. Atherton comes out of his area to take this one. Forward it comes from Atherton, down the line, into the feet of Joshua, missed the substitute, now with the armband on. His header though, picked up by Solademi on the left-hand side of the back line, finds the feet of Francis. Adam Lund trying to make something of it. It's with Rodwell Grant now. Poked around the corner for Mikey O'Neill. Cross blocked by Solademi, and I think he has just about kept that one in. That's quite impressive. Literally rolled along the line for about 15 yards. Jed Abbey now turning out of trouble. Tries to find Salmon, who wanted the first time pass out to Francis, who's still there waiting, and he's kept himself onside. Akil Francis striding into the area, gets onto his right foot again, looks to shoot, blocked by James. Oh. Adam Lund looks to recycle it, and it's a soft free kick eventually awarded.
It's clever. It's clever from Amara. I think Francis lunged. He felt the touch, realised his touch was bad. He didn't need to go down, but he knew if he did, he'd get the free kick from the clip. He goes down as Alfreton would have won the ball back very high up the pitch, and he just nicks that free kick that he needed. Otherwise, Warrington were going to be in some real trouble there.
Well, Warrington escape with just the 2 goals down at the moment. They're going to have to pull off something pretty incredible in the remaining minutes to get something from this game. So Atherton's free kick is cleared away by the Reds, only as far as Douglas though, whose clearance goes down the line. And I think Billy Heath has deliberately let that one bounce beyond him, just to kill a few more seconds. Something that Alfreton have got in their favour now as well. They've got all of the changes to make. Warrington do not, having made that triple sub. So Billy's got time to slow the game down at his own leisure.
Just taking a look at some scores. Not really relevant to us, but Luton Town are winning a football match.
That's relevant to the world, I think. That's in the public interest.
Once again, just another one. Blythe Spartans, obviously, in the National League North last season. 3-1 down currently at Bamber Bridge. I'm pretty sure the bottom of the Northern Premier League.
Yeah, they were last time I looked. Wouldn't be surprised if they're not. They haven't moved from there.
Our friends are 1-0 down. Up at Baseford. Well, up at my ends, up at Stockton.
Unlucky for the Ambers. Well, Adam Lund prepares this throw on the far side. In it goes towards the centre of the area, headed away by a Warrington shirt. Back with Adam Lund, though. Knocks it around the corner for Solademi to try and get onto, but he doesn't quite get the desired direction on that one. It's with O'Neill now. Laid across to James. Infield to a miss. He's got space. He's got Devon Green and Akers on the left-hand side as well. It's a slow pass, but it finds its way to the fellow substitute. Looks to set up a shot on his left foot. Oh, and it's a good save in the end.
Really good, strong hand.
I was going to say, well, the referee's actually given the goal kick. I think he's. I really don't know how he's given the goal kick for that. Jake Askew.
We heard it.
You literally heard from up here with our headphones on. We've heard the glove of Jake Askew connect with that, and the referee has not seen it. Neither has the linesman. And you just saw Warrington players immediately with their head in their hands in utter disbelief, and I can't really blame them because that looked like a pretty obvious corner from up here. I think it was the way that Askew sort of pulled his arm away once he got there, because I think he realised it might have been going wide regardless. But either way, I think I'm quite astounded by that, and the referee doubles down.
Speaking of astounding things, top of the league Chester are drawing to Needham Market at Chester.
Wow.
As well as Leamington 3-2 up against Charlie, and Buxton beating Scunthorpe, but that's not too out of the blue. It's a tough game for them.
There's your little National League North roundup around the grounds as Warrington look to come forward through Rodwell Grant.
Block.
On the right-hand side into the area, blocked twice by Dwayne Wiley.
First one was Solidemi, I think.
Out for a Warrington corner and a chance for them to maybe get back into this game. They're going to need to make something stick sooner rather than later if they want to leave Derbyshire with anything other than no points.
Yeah, they're starting to kind of come forward, ask a couple of
commit
questions.
Numbers.
Alfreton so far are answering them, but they're trying to stop us from that kind of cruise to 3 Point Island.
Well, the referee makes the corner take a wait as he's having a discussion with Adam Lund and Peter Clark.
The referee's really stamped his authority on this game as well.
He has. Well, at that time, Adam Lund and Peter Clark collide once more. Clark ends up on the ground. Adam Lund ends up in the book. But just going to make the corner taker wait even longer. We're icing him out. Adam Lund now eventually just goes to mock a different man instead. Takes the equally as physically threatening Josh at miss. Referee blows the whistle again and the corner is finally delivered towards the centre of the box, headed away by Wiley. Further cleared by Osborne. Back into the Warrington half. No red shirts up there defending the box now. Making sure the visitors don't get anything from those set pieces. The ball with Jed Abbey though. Inside the Alfreton half, looking to knock it around the corner for Osborne, but that was wishful. Although, ends up working out perfectly. Warrington tried to force the pass down the line and it bobbles out for an Alfreton throw. Slap bang on the halfway line, which Solidemi heads over to take.
If you want to talk about Akil Francis there as well, as that ball got cleared, I watched him sprint from the edge of our own box all the way up here to put pressure and then all the way out there to pressure that next ball, and obviously didn't win the throw-in, so to say, but just having someone knowing they're coming, that forces errors. I've been really, really impressed with his work ethic. He's been a steady figure up top. He's been a presence. He's done well. He's been very unlucky not to get a goal. But the one thing that's been outstanding for me is how hard he's worked off the ball, chasing lost causes. He's so fit, kind of just running around all game. I've been really, really impressed with him.
Yeah, and he's got, it's not an easy role to fill in a Billy Heath side at Alfreton. That number 9 role that we've seen Jake Day kind of make his own for the majority of this season.
Yeah, Jake Day's ran every striker out of town.
Yeah, that's pretty much.
Come in so far.
But Akil Francis, he's a different sort of profile to Jake Day as a football player, but we're seeing much the same of the tireless work ethic, the hard yards being put in, the dirty work that doesn't really go appreciated all the time. And he's shown a great example of that today.
Yeah, I feel like whenever Jake plays, we always talk about how good of a game he's had, even when he hasn't scored a goal, because that's his game. He's a bit of the the workhorse. He does a lot of the dog work. And we give him that kind of credit because a lot of people don't notice it, but I think we notice when players are kind of going under the radar. And I think it's the same kind of story today for Francis. Maybe the town is big enough for the two of them.
Possibly. I'm sure they'll both hope it is. As there is the aforementioned Francis laying that one off for Osborne. Alfreton have got 4 going forward. Good challenge by Douglas on Osborne, but he's going to smartly let that one trickle out for the throw. just kill that clock a little bit more as we approach the later stages of this game. If you are just joining us, Alfreton Town lead by 2-0. Goals coming from Josh Claxton from the penalty spot, and then Osborne grabbing his first in an Ofton shirt from the edge of the box to make it 2. Adam Lund stands over this throw just beyond the away dugout. Gets a little tap on the stomach from a member of the Warrington coaching staff as the throw's delivered. Makes its way all the way to the back post. Lewis Salmon got his foot caught in the... He got stuck in the mud, I suppose, inside the 6-yard box as he tried to chase that one down. And eventually cleared away for a Warrington throw inside their own half on the right-hand side. Sent down the line quickly. Cantrell, that one could drop. No, it's hit the roof. And you'll see it roll off on the back of the camera. Maybe, if you're lucky. No, I don't think we're quite at the right angle, but Cantrell sending that one out of the ground. As Pam has just got back in with another football, she's going to receive some bad news in a minute. But Warrington have themselves a throw inside the Alfreton half.
I'm going to check.
Matty's going to go and check and see if that football's bounced out to some people outside the ground, so I'm solo for now. Jed Abbey's done me a favour by winning a free kick, bringing the play to a stop. Matty's peering around the corner of the gantry, seeing if he can find where that football's gone. Can you see it?
I can't see it, no.
We can't see it.
The kids aren't close enough to have clocked it yet. I think it might be down the back. I don't think it'll bounce over the fence.
I was going to say it rolled more than it sort of...
Go down.
Yeah, see.
There we go. I'm back. Sorry, my hiatus is complete. I wanted to see if I could see the ball. I think it might just be down the back of the gantry.
Can have a look when we go down. Well, yeah, Jed Abbey did me a favour, by the way. I was going to have to commentate solo for a minute, but he won a free kick, and that's literally all that happened in your absence. So Alfreton prepared this free kick from inside their own half. I think the referee, is he waiting for the sub? No, we're going to get back underway. Claxton pings that one over to the left-hand side towards Osborne. Tries to take a touch immediately. He's forced to chase it. And I think he's managed to win the throw there as well.
I don't want to hear you moaning about commentating on your own. I had to do it for 90 minutes last
Very
week.
true, very true. I've got nothing to complain about. Warrington make their 4th change. Andy White, the left-back, withdrawn in place of somebody. The 4th official has got the board lit up, but is just kind of just holding it by his side.
It's Bennett.
Murphy Bennett, the Welshman, on for the late stages of this game. And Osborne did win that throw, by the way, kind of clattered it off of the Warrington man. Adam Lund prepares to take this one, but unfortunately for him, Wiley and Anson were both discussing something with Billy Heath, so they're not forward for this one. It'll go into the box regardless, though. Atherton doesn't quite get there. Abbey tries to make something of it against Matty McDonald, but it's cleared down the line, up to Devon Green. Checks back on himself. Has the run of Mikey O'Neill inside. He's forced to go out wide on his lonesome. Good switch over to the right-hand side, though, for Rodwell Grant. Good touch as well from the opposite winger. Looks to shape to shoot on his right foot. Delivered across the box, but Anson intercepts there really and clears it away up towards Francis, who, well, I say up towards Francis, into his kind of general vicinity.
Which is just anywhere
on the halfway line, and he's put in the hard yards to try and get there, but Warrington come away with the ball. Here is McDonald, gets it off of Bennett, the recent substitute. James out wide to Rodwell Grant. He's up against Solidemi. Not far away from the box now. Brings it infield. He's got Bennett in space. Pops to ignore him, though. Cantrell puts in a great challenge to win it back, and Francis does equally as well to wriggle away from Clark, who is forced to sort of put his arm around him, and once you've got both arms around the player, it's going to be a foul. Francis goes down, wins that free kick inside the centre circle, gives Alfreton a breather. Still yet to see a change from Billy Heath, but I don't think nobody deserves to be withdrawn in this one, but I think it's, as you get to the kind of
case of game management,
later stages, exactly, it's a case of game management. You don't want to disrupt the momentum, but equally you've got that up your sleeve if you do want to sort of slow the game down, make some changes. I take it Borough have scored.
Yeah, have that Derby. I know probably a lot of people are also Derby fans who are supporters, but have that, finish as.
Well, Josh Claxton takes this deep free kick over towards Adland. It's flicked on. Is Francis going to get there? No, Atherton comes off of his line well to claim that one for himself. A little bit of a hobble from the goalkeeper as well. I think Francis might have collided with him. Nothing malicious. Atherton with the ball in his hands. Again, one of those scenarios where he's wanted to distribute quickly but not had the option from his players. But it will go long up towards a miss. Wiley wins the header. Forward by Bennett. Up towards a miss again. Wiley gets the better of him once more. Adam Lund trying to flick it on further, and eventually is happy to just knock that one well clear into the Warrington half and out for a throw.
I think that's Nathan Newell getting kitted up on the far side. I wouldn't be surprised to see him come on in the right back position again.
Yeah,
just because of that.
Devon Green's a little bit of a technical player.
Yeah, he did really well to kind of get up the line, a little turn. The switch was fantastic, but he doesn't be able to do that if he's got someone as quick as Nathan Newell to just kind of catch up with him almost immediately.
Yeah, we saw that change against Scarborough, didn't we? With Josh Claxton up against Green for them. Billy
oh my God, it's another one!
Billy opted to put
2 greens!
There we go. Well, Francis released on that left-hand side. He's made his way over. He's up against Douglas. Just makes him think before laying it back to Jed Abbey. Pressured by Matty McDonald. Adjudged to have won the ball fairly, and Warrington could come forward here. McDonald infield to Rodwell Grant, who's inverted from the right. Over to Bennett. He's up against Lewis Salmon on the left-hand side now. Brings it back to Matty McDonald in a crossing position. Comes back across to O'Neill in the centre of the pitch. Shifted over once again to James. We've gone from right to left, back to the right. As James looks to cross from the right-hand side, up towards a miss, and he gets there, wins the header, kisses the bar on the way in, and Warrington immediately, out of nothing, have a route back into the game through the skipper, comes off the bench. Josh Amiss makes a nuisance of himself, gets into that back post. James delayed the cross.
It's Osborne coming off.
To perfection, really. But he put the cross in towards the big man, the number 9, and he got there, directed that header in a region where Jake Askew's never going to be able to save it, and just like that, Warrington have made a game of it. Just the 1 goal in it now. So it is 2-1, and Alfreton will immediately respond with their first change, which I think was going to be made anyway.
Yeah.
But it's going to be Osborne withdrawn, who's had a good performance, scored his first goal in an Alfreton shirt to make it 2-0 at the time. Nathan Newell will come off the bench for the rest of this game with a view to just seeing it out. But Alfreton have now got a much less comfortable scoreline to deal with for the rest of this game.
The storm's coming.
Yeah, we're seeing some grey clouds. Hopefully that is not some pathetic fallacy for the rest of this game. As Alfreton get it back underway, Wiley's long ball straight out for a Warrington throw, and they're going to be fired up now because they know one little moment can change this game.
Yeah, Newell's come on the left wing for Osborne. He did come on the wing against Hereford last weekend, so this isn't a new revelation. It was to me on that day, but yeah, he's one of them where he's quick enough to be a winger. He's got that kind of wicked cross on him, which he can dispatch. That's really good work by Francis. I was going to say,
Francis once again going in for a physical battle with Bennett there, uses his body fairly enough so it's not a foul, but strongly enough to put him off, and it's just kind of bounced off of him as the football crosses the line out for an Alfreton throw. Adam Lund prepares to take this one. We're seeing Wiley and Solademi stay back along with Claxton. Cantrell and Newell on the edges of the area on either side.
I think what one as well about Newell coming on the wing is we speak a lot about wingers having to do a lot of defensive work under Billy.
Well, Lundy's throw into the front post flicked away by Doro, and a free kick awarded, I'm guessing, for
I think it was a pull on the
shirt. A bit of a pull, yeah. But Atherton sets this one up quickly. Warrington swiftly up the pitch. Not long to go now, but we're going to have an interesting finish here at the Impact, so stay with us. Atherton's clearance headed forward by Alfreton. Francis having to chase that one up against Clark, knocks it back to the goalkeeper with his thigh, which you're allowed to do. It's not a pass back. Atherton, the little drop kick, gets a lot of distance on that one. Anson heads it clear. Adam Lund just knocks it into an area for Solademi to have time to clear. Abbey trying to chest it round. Amara back with Douglas. Goes in field to Clark. I don't think he was expecting that one, but he's got time and space to lay that one off to Bennett. Warrington in something of a back 3 now. As Bennett comes forward, looks to clip it towards Rodwell Grant. Anson gets his head to it again, and Bennett miscues that one badly. Bounces out of the ground once again. Alfreton have themselves a throw. I think we're seeing someone else get kitted up over in the dugout. Can't quite make it out. It might be... Is that Liam Waldock? Putting his kit on. It looked like it might be a number 10. Yeah, Liam Waldock up to his feet, ready to be introduced. And now I think it is a case of Billy Heath using these changes just to run the clock that little bit more, provide some fresh legs for the remainder of this game. throw from Josh Claxton goes down the line. Francis heads it on to Lewis Salmon. Had an arm in the back from Clark. No foul given though. And Warrington clear their lines up to a miss. Does enough to take that down for himself, actually. Tries to knock it around the corner for Rodwell Grant. It's a good ball into a good area. Warrington coming into the box now, up against Wiley. Rodwell Grant delays, lays it off to a miss. Who's going to strike it first time with his right foot, and it's an absolutely wonderful strike from the Warrington captain. And it looks like the visitors have salvaged a point at the death here at the Impact. Josh Amiss making the impact from the bench. A header to make a game of it at the back post, and he's had the ball laid off to him. It was good work initially from the captain to take it down in the centre circle, knocked it round the corner for Rodwell Grant to run onto, and he got the ball into the box and he delayed it and he waited for the run as Alfreton just looks to get bodies back into the area. And Josh Amiss arrives onto that one. I mean, you just have to hold your hands up and say what an absolutely great strike from the captain, right into the top corner. Nothing Jake Askew can do about it. And Alfreton Town look to have let it slip. Liam Waldock is introduced for Jed Abbey in the closing stages. We're yet to see the board for added time go up.
I think it's 2 shots on target as well, really.
Yeah, I don't think you're completely wrong on that. Warrington haven't had much, but when they've had those chances, they've made it count. And Josh Amiss, I mean, I don't know if I've seen a better goal at the Impact for a little while. But Alfreton do get things back underway. They know now that they need to find something now to come away with a positive result, because in this case now a point, especially in the manner that the lead has diminished, there's not going to be any sort of positive way about looking at the result now if it stays like this.
Yeah, bottom of the league at home, you've got to come away with 3 points, and this is a massive opportunity. You get that first win at home in 2025 under the belt, and they've just turned the game on its head.
Absolutely.
In a couple of minutes, and it's one of them now. These Alfreton are going to have to do something. They're going to have to produce something.
Well, Adam Lund prepares that throw from the right-hand side. Into the box it goes, flicked on by a Warrington head. Waldock tries to keep it alive. Wiley looks to shoot, but it's closed down by Peter Clark, and he hacks that one clear. Up towards Nathan Newell, sends it back where it came from. Into the feet of Mikey O'Neill, though, for Warrington. And the only way this could get any worse is if Warrington find a third. Waldock, though, wins it back. Solidemi tries to knock it round the corner. Still has it, the defender. And it is with Francis now, laid off to Waldock. Fresh off the bench, he goes down under the challenge from Amara, and that's a foul.
25 yards out.
25 yards out from goal. Is this Waldock range? You would have thought it might have been Osborne to take if he was still on the pitch, but Liam Waldock, we know he can hit them. One that stands out, that goal against Bishop Stortford last season, the away trip in that 4-0 win. Inch perfect free kick from the number 10.
And that was from further.
And if there's a time to recreate that,
yeah, I'm just worried it's a little bit too central.
Yeah, I was going to say, it's not really either side of the kind of edge of the D. If it was to a side, it's just about to the left probably, but it's not really in that range where you're comfortable getting it up and over with no other direction, because then the goalkeeper is probably going to be comfortable saving that one. Warrington players want Liam Waldock to bring this ball a little bit further back, which could actually favour him.
Yeah, they've moved him into a position where he can kind of
get it up and over.
Wrap it in one way or another. It's one of them. It's going to be asking a lot of Liam Waldock.
Yeah.
To find the back of the net from
just onto the pitch as well. He might be a little bit rusty, but the 4-man wall for Warrington, forced back by the referee. It's O'Neill, McDonald, Douglas, and Amiss making up that 4-man wall. Every other red shirt outside of Wiley and Newell up forward for this one.
Clacky.
Yeah, I was going to say, Clacky's got a lot of space on the score sheet already this afternoon, but the referee is going to blow his whistle soon for Liam Waldock. There is the whistle. There is the free kick. Oh my goodness, and it's an absolutely brilliant free kick, but Atherton responds with an equally fantastic save. I don't think Waldock can do any more there. He's got it up and over the wall. It's perfect. It looks like it's going to nestle in the top corner, but Atherton is he's stretched sort of more than it looked like he was able to. Just about tips it round the post. It's better than his save in the first half. It's the best save of the day by a country mile. Alfreton, though, will look to keep the pressure on from the corner. No, we're going to have to wait a little bit. The referee's doing some talking.
That was an absolute perler.
I don't think Waldock can do any more.
It looked like it was just he buried it. It was an absolutely brilliant free kick, almost inch perfect. And Atherton got across his goal really well. If it was a little bit closer in, I don't think he has a chance.
No.
But luckily, because of the distance, he's had time to scramble across, claw it out the top corner and turn it back for a corner. But wow, that was nearly special.
Waldock delivers that corner, headed on by, I think it was a Warrington head. So Alfreton should have another corner. Waldock's going to have to come across and take it. I don't know if I'm being silly, but I've still not seen the board for added time.
No, I don't think we're quite yet there yet. 88 we're at.
88. So in the next kind of minute or so, we'll probably see it come up. But Liam Waldock prepares this corner from the opposite side.
Marine have equalised against Hereford.
Right-footed delivery in towards the front post, headed on by a miss. Not necessarily away, but Atherton gets there quickly. Shouts for that to have gone back over the line.
It looked like it was all
and out for another corner, but the referee and the linesman disagree with that. Atherton bounces the ball again and looked like he wanted to launch that one away and get it gone quickly, but he's forced to wait for his team to get up there. He will send it towards a miss. Wiley gets his head to it, but it's bobbled out for a throw for Warrington, and now they believe that they can go on and win this one.
They've got a long throw of their own.
They do indeed. We've seen it a couple of times from James, the right back, this afternoon. For the visitors, he prepares it. It's just in front of the home dugout. In it goes towards the box into the front post area. Flicked on by Anson. Looked like it was going to drop for Green, but Lund stuck a foot in. Now with O'Neill up against Claxton, tries the right-footed cross. It's going to head out of the box. Warrington try and keep it alive, and it is back with McDonald now. We have got 4 minutes of added time to play. McDonald goes down under the challenge from Waldock. Referee not interested. It's still with a Warrington shirt with James. Up against Newell, laid back to Douglas. He's forced to prod it inside to Amara. It's a good pass. Amara tries to fire it into Clark. Rodwell Grant keeps it alive for the visitors. Tries a little Maradona turn on Cantrill, and he gets away with it. Brings it forward himself. Closing in on the box. A right-footed cross towards an unmarked Peter Clark, and a fantastic save from Jake Askew to keep the scores level. But McDonald still has it for Warrington inside the box. Tries to lay it off for a miss. That's got to be handball. It's not. O'Neill, cross from the right-hand side. Comes off the crossbar. Lewis Salmon clears it away. What a hectic finish we've had here at the Impact. But Jake Askew responds to Daniel Atherton's acrobatic save and keeps Alfreton in the game with a great stop on Peter Clark. I don't know how he's been left unmarked at the back post, the 43-year-old, but his header turned away from goal by the man in blue.
Yeah, really poor defending for him to be so open is nothing short of appalling from that back line. And Jake Askew's massively bailed them out there. And that's I think that's it's not like a flipper switch for Warrington in this last 10 minutes and they've been really good.
No.
I think it's that we've kind of just we've switched off. The second goal from a miss is great, but the play beforehand should have been dealt with, and same with the first one. And that would have been our own doing as Francis goes off, who I'm going to call now has been the man of the match for me.
Probably, yeah.
That's Matty's man of the match this week, Akil Francis.
I don't disagree with that.
I've been really, really impressed with him this afternoon, but Jake Day comes on in his place.
Has a couple of minutes, Jake Day, to make an impact. And it'd be a very welcome one. Josh Claxton takes this free kick from the halfway line. It is over towards Day and Wiley, cleared away though by Warrington. Back towards the halfway line for Claxton. He's just going to knock that one back for Jake Askew. Controls it himself, and he's going to bring it forward before going long. Jake Day's made the run over to the right-hand side. Forward it comes from Askew. Jake Day flicks the header on, and the Warrington player's gone down. And I think it was always going to be the case up against Jake Day. Peter Clark just kind of felt the contact and straight away goes now for that free kick, and you can't blame him.
Scunthorpe have equalised.
Atherton prepares this free kick outside of his own box. Goes long up towards Josh and miss. Anson heads that one away. Only as far as Bennett though. Cantrell trying to step in. He does well. Both sides going to claim the throw there, and I think the referee rightly gives that one Warrington's way.
Have we seen the board go up, by the way, for stoppage time? Because I didn't.
Yeah, it was 4 minutes.
4 minutes.
About a couple of minutes ago. It was in that kind of hectic Warrington attack, so we kind of missed it. Well, Warrington, the throw goes in. Cleared away by Alfreton. Only as far as Bennett, who tries to knock it back down the line. It's out for a throw for the Reds. as we approach the closing stages of this game. Probably about a minute or so remaining. Claxton's preparing the throw in. You imagine it will go down the line. He's got to make something happen now. And it goes down the line. He's put everything into that. You can tell by his expression. And Jake Day does his best to try and flick it on, but it bounces out for a Warrington throw. Peter Clark waits for the ball to come back to him from the supporters, although I think he's going to have to take matters into his own hands. Clark does retrieve the ball from the stands. Chucks that one to the substitute Murphy Bennett to take. He wants his players to be down the line. He's got a miss and Green down that line. Forward it comes. A miss slips. O'Neill trying to make something of it. Cantrell just looks to knock it round the corner. I don't think Jake Day was making the run that he wanted him to. And that is going to be the full-time whistle. And it ends 2-2. Alfreton Town with a late slip. Warrington back into the game. The story, Josh Amiss coming from the bench, taking the armband off Peter Clark and leading from the front, scoring a brace. And the equaliser, an absolute belter of a strike from outside the box. First time on his right foot, on the right-hand side of the area, just arrows into the top corner. Nothing Jake Askew could do about it. Then it looked like Waldock might win it with that free kick at the other end. Atherton makes a fantastic save. And then only a couple of minutes later, Peter Clark from out of nowhere, unmarked in the box, ghosts in there to the 6-yard area, forces Jake Askew into another unbelievable stop. A real hectic finish at the Impact, but the full-time score, Alfreton Town 2, Warrington Town 2.
Yeah, it's such a dagger, and once again that first home win of 2025 eludes us, and it looked so sure 2-0 that, I mean, I don't think they'd had a shot on target other than that one that was given as a goal kick after Askew tipped it round. Then all of a sudden out of nowhere that header at the back post makes it 2-1. They're in the game, but those goals were avoidable, and I'm sure Billy will say, I mean, he says them every week. He goes into his interview and he says those goals were avoidable, you know, it's our own fault kind of thing. And I think although the goals, I don't think there was anything about the actual strike that could have been done, but the build-up wasn't good enough. And I don't want to make an excuse, but I think we've been very unlucky there as well. I mean, it's an absolute moment of quality, the second by a miss, and Atherton has made 2 or 3 absolutely outstanding saves. Askew making one of his own as well, to keep him in that game for as long as they did. The woodwork was definitely their friend. I think it was avoidable during that game, but very unlucky for us, lucky for Warrington. But
both things can be true at the same time.
Yeah, at the end of the day, that's a worrying draw.
Yes.
Against bottom of the league at home, we were 2-0 up, and we've come away. That's 2 points dropped massively. In fact, I'd go as far as say it's one of them now where I think we've got to go to Brackley and get something now. Yeah,
a bounce back needed for that away trip, which will then set up the run of 3 home games in a row. A chance, you know, to get that little run that's probably going to get a side in our position over the line at the end of the season. But thank you very much, everybody, for tuning in today. Thanks for the kind words in the chat as well. It doesn't go unnoticed. We massively appreciate it. But we will catch you another time. Thank you very much for tuning in. Goodbye.